Good morning. Welcome back with the MQL Suite Morning Market Report. Margin traded investment carries considerable economic risks, and whoever carries it out under his or her sole responsibility. Therefore, the author of this teaching session assumes no responsibility for any direct or indirect damages in relation to investment decisions taken by the listener. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of September. Risk appetite returns to financial markets. In China, the news was spread that the government is preparing to launch measures that can mitigate the effects of trade war. The Chinese Ministry of Finance announced the exemption starting September 17th from additional duties for 16 types of U.S. products, including anti-cancer drugs, lubricants, and livestock feed. The announcement comes as Chinese and U.S. officials prepare for next month's meeting in Washington, which marks their latest attempt to resolve the prolonged business dispute. Furthermore, the Chinese authorities have removed the restrictions on the purchase of shares of Chinese companies by foreign entities. Meanwhile, the AmCham report notes that, due to restrictions on access to the local market, U.S. companies have reduced their investments in China by 6.9% to divert them on other regions. Change affects the technology, hardware, and software industries. Risk appetite is also kept high by the dismissal of the United States National Counselor John Bolton. Bolton has been the leader of the interventionist alignment on the international chessboard for years, so his dismissal should avoid U.S. involvement in Venezuela, Syria, and Iran. In Europe, former Prime Minister Paolo Gentiloni is the new European Commissioner for Economic and Monetary Affairs. From the 1st of November, he will succeed to French Moscovici. In the United Kingdom, the negotiators seem to have reached an agreement on the controversial story of the Irish backstop, which, in fact, is the real critical point of the Brexit negotiations. In the United Kingdom, the negotiators seem to have reached an agreement on the controversial story of the Irish backstop, which, in fact, is the real critical point of the Brexit negotiations. The intention is to apply the backstop only to Northern Ireland. Yesterday, Iraq announced a cut in oil production to meet OPEC's demands. The country, in fact, is the second producer of OPEC crude oil, but is affected by chronic overproduction and is set to become, by 2030, the third largest oil supplier in the world. On the agenda today are the monthly OPEC report and the weekly AIA stocks. It's 40 minutes past 10. The indices are appreciated. In Wall Street, the Dow Jones gains 0.13%. In Europe, the Eurostoxx 50 gains 0.49%. The Dutch gains 0.42%. The Swiss index gains 0.34%. The CAC Rand gains 0.56%. And finally, the FTSE MIB gains 0.62%. Precious metals are appreciated too. The palladium is gaining 0.44%. In the forex market, the Australian dollar strengthens. It is gaining 0.25% against the New Zealand dollar. The Canadian dollar gains 0.19% against the Swiss franc. The euro is mixed, with Euro-D that is losing 0.22%, Euro-CAD that is losing 0.11%, and Euro-GBP that is losing 0.14%. Finally, the dollar is gaining 0.19% against the Swiss franc. The Australian dollar is the strongest currency this morning, with a 1.42% gain on the basket. The pound is appreciated by 0.80%. The American dollar and the Canadian dollar are appreciated too. On the contrary, the New Zealand dollar and the euro are depreciated. The Swiss franc is losing 1%, and the Japanese yen is the weakest currency of the morning with a 1.35% losses on the basket. The best performance are recorded by the Australian dollar that is gaining 0.36% against the Japanese yen and a 30% against the Swiss franc. The worst performance, on the contrary, is recorded by Euro-D that is losing 0.23%. That's all for the moment. If you like the analysis, please leave a like one. Furthermore, I invite you to join our Facebook group to follow our activities. Have a nice trading!